I am so excited to sit down. First of all, this is a diva. You would think we have known each other for at least a couple of years, the way we banter together. I am so honored to sit down with you, Miss Underwood. But for those in the audience that may not know who and what you do, tell them a little bit about who you are and your business.
Sure, thank you. And girl, you my BFF now. Um, I am Martha Underwood, and I'm so honored to be here. And what my business is, I like to say I'm the legacy business, the inheritance business. So my platform, Prism, is digital vault software that we sell to banks to ensure that the account holder transfers assets to the beneficiary seamlessly when they transition life, so when they die. Making sure that the next generation gets their hands on the money that your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, and your dad worked so hard to accumulate over the years. Make sure that that transfers seamlessly to heirs. So we build inheritance infrastructure for financial institutions is how we like to describe it.
Okay, nice. I love that. Very unique. And so talk to me about how you felt when you found out you were being featured on this bus this year.
Well, what this feature means to me, I mean, this means visibility with purpose, right? To be featured by Birmingham Transit Authority isn't just recognition to me, it's really significance. Because this is about legacy. So my work centers around legacy. So not just financial legacy, but informational legacy, the systems we leave behind, the clarity we create for our families. It's making sure that what we build actually survives us. And Birmingham understands legacy, right? In a way that few cities do. Because the city carries legacy in its sidewalks, in its buildings, in its history, and it's significant locally and globally. But legacy isn't something that we just inherit, to me. It's something we're responsible for. And so as this bus moves through the city, right, passing schools and churches and buildings, it really signifies for me to be able to be featured there, that my message, my mission gets to be featured throughout Birmingham, and cemented and I guess cemented in such a way from a legacy lens that we need to be thinking about what we're going to be leaving our children, and what does our legacy mean today, tomorrow, and in the future. So I'm grateful that this message will travel across Birmingham every day.
Okay. And speaking of a legacy, what do you want young girls or even those aspiring to be entrepreneurs such as yourself or CEOs or women leaders, what do you want them to see, think, or feel when they see you on this bus passing by?
I want them to know that, we don't just run companies, that we hold communities together, right? Because celebrating women, it's really important, because when we start businesses, we're not just thinking about capital, we're thinking about impact, right? And so this recognition, when a girl sees us on there, I want them to know what the possibilities are, and what seeing is believing, right? Being visible to them, that they know what they can achieve if they just continue to be resilient and not be afraid to share their brilliance.
And you hit that on the nail when you say seeing is believing. So
Yes.
why do you feel that Birmingham or even the entire Jefferson County, why it's important for us to be so intentional about highlighting women in business, small businesses, or minority-owned businesses?
Well, I'm going to talk about Max in particular because, I think it's more than just transformation. It's connective tissue. I remember, catching a bus when I was young to get to work or to get to school. And people don't understand how important transit is, because when that's available, opportunity moves. I can get on the bus to go get a job. I can go on the bus to go get, an internship, or go to a new business, or visit a new area. And so it's really about how, and you're being intentional, and because you knit the community together. not just physically, but economically and socially, right? And so I think that that's why this is so important to highlight us and to have the transit authority do this. It's kind of like it's infrastructure with the city and how you quietly shape outcomes is the way to say it, right? Because without the bus, a lot of people might not be able to get to work. There's messages on the bus. There's all kinds of things that people don't think about when you think about transit, but it goes a little deeper and how you really impact the community. And I think that that's a way that the transit authority shapes the city in the future that most people don't necessarily think about. They kind of take it for granted.
Okay. So speaking of shape the city, so the Birmingham Business Alliance has this, I guess you could call it slogan that I love, and it's Birmingham has more.
Yeah.
I took that theme and I crafted out our Black History Bus theme every single year. And I finished the sentence with Birmingham has more icons. Birmingham has more conquerors. I personally like to finish that sentence with Birmingham has more food because I feel like we have an amazing food scene here.
Yes,
so something fun I like to ask participants, how would you finish that sentence? Birmingham has more.
I say Birmingham has more talent than we get credit for.
Right. I love that.
I think we got more talent than we get credit for because people are always surprised that, oh, you got this business there, or this business started there, or you had this big group there. And so, but we don't necessarily get credit for it because people aren't necessarily looking at Birmingham as a place for talent, but they should. So I think that Birmingham has more talent than they get credit for.
I love that. And I get to meet some of this amazing talent doing this theme every single year. And I love it. So on the flip side, what do you feel like something that Birmingham needs more of to continue to thrive and evolve?
I think more bridges need to be built between the legacy institutions and new builders, right? The people who've been there building and the people who are trying to build now. I think that we can share a lot of great knowledge on what did it take to build this thing that now is a long-standing institution in Birmingham, and what will it take to build new things that will last into the future. And so I think the next chapter for Birmingham really is about alignment between those two groups and the courage for us to collaborate and to build better.
I love that. So let's flip back to Prism. So what's next for you or for Prism?
So what next for us is really a lot of growth. So because we sell to financial institutions, we've been talking to several different banks about Prism. One of the things that's really near and dear to my heart is to get us into Black banks, because typically the Black community isn't necessarily thinking about legacy as much as we should, because they think that we don't have anything to pass on. So one of the targets that I have is to run a campaign throughout our community to say you're richer than you think, right? Because we are. We don't think about grandma who had worked for Walmart for 25 years and got this life insurance policy that no one knows about, that when she passed, you can go claim, or that fine china that she might have had, or that painting, or that heirloom, all of these different things that we don't necessarily think about day to day that has value that we should be thinking about, especially during these times. It really is a passion of mine as we scale and grow and become more integrated into mainstream banks, but also ensure that we are targeting our banks and our community banks to help our people ensure that wealth passes on to the next generation.
Love it. I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing more about all the great things that Prism has working on in the future. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I know you are a busy woman. Listen, between she catching flights, she got conferences here and there. I bow down. I love what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I really thank the business, the Birmingham Transit Authority, for featuring me. It's really, truly an honor.
Thank you so much.